right, marketers, grab your overpriced standing desk and that oat milk latte you love so much, because welcome to Notorious B2B, the only show where we treat LinkedIn drama like breaking news and expose the real B2B marketing sins.
Yeah, think of us like SNL meets TMZ, but for the people who argue about whether gated content is still a thing or not. I'm Task Bober, B2B landing page nerd and lovable troll on LinkedIn.
And I'm Tim Davidson, the guy making TikTok-style videos and cutting fruit on LinkedIn. Together, we're cutting out nonsense and roasting the most ridiculous trends in B2B marketing.
Because if we have to suffer through another 10 things getting engaged taught me about B2B sales, we're taking you all down with us.
Let's get into it.
We are not matching today. Your mosaic shirt.
Mosaic what, though?
Cats?
EV Evolution's very niche. Pokemon.
What?
It's Pokemon.
Oh.
It's Mosaic Pokemon.
And I'm the nerd.
I said niche. I didn't say nerd.
Well, you called me nerd earlier, though.
I'm a nerd. No, I'm straight up nerd. I just say nerd to some people. It's like a joke. Yeah.
Okay. We actually have a docket this week.
Like docket. Yes, we do.
Fucking docket.
Swearing.
Yeah. Well, yes. We got to give.
We got some big follow-ups too, I feel like.
We do have some huge follow-ups, and we had Brendan on last time, so that helped us create an agenda for this episode because we didn't talk through a lot of stuff last time. But I think we should just dive right in.
Yeah, I mean, it's always about diving.
It's always about diving. Okay. All right. Urgent all hands.
All right.
The first thing, which you're like, I don't even know why we should cover this, but I feel like we should kind of cover it.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Now it's interesting. You were like,
I've pondered on it.
And you've accepted it now. Now you're like,
I'm still pondering.
You're still pondering. Right here, we have Kyle Coleman. If nobody knows who he is, Kyle Coleman was the CMO at Copy.ai, right?
Yep.
Was he CMO?
He was also Clary before that. People probably know him from Clary.
Yes. So people know him from Clary. He was CMO there, went to Copy.ai, which was a lot smaller than Clary, and then just kind of became the face of Copy.ai, did a lot of content around that. So much so that I even referred to him as being generated by AI because his skin was like so perfect at Drive. I was is he 3D printed as a person?
You met him in person. He's very handsome. Like he's a very handsome guy. Like, I don't know what else to say. He's just a very handsome guy.
Yeah. Like he was 3D printed. It's like, he's like almost not human, you know?
Agreed.
But I heard, I don't know him, but I've heard very nice things. Obviously worked under him, all of that stuff. But this kind of came out of nowhere because he was Mr. like Copy.ai was the brand. It kind of merged, like they were kind of one and the same. And then suddenly the pivot to global VP of marketing at ClickUp. And it's surprising, right?
I mean, it's a quick, like what happened, right? I think that's the question. Like why leave Copy.ai? You know, it's a smaller company. They have funding, I believe, I would assume. And that's why you stay at that kind of level of as a CMO. So what, he was a year and 4 months. Yeah. You don't leave, especially if you have stake in there, you don't leave pretty early like that. Like you kind of want to see it out usually.
Yeah, it was kind of, I mean, I don't know, like what's the statistic? Like the average tenure of a CMO is like 18 months or something like that. So like we're not super far from this, but yeah, I feel like there's definitely something juicy going on there. We obviously don't know him like that. So we're just going to speculate instead of giving you the truth because we don't know what the truth is. Yeah. But very interesting there. But the other side of that is ClickUp is a decently known company. Kyle is a decently known person with a personal brand. I mean, I would imagine he's getting a ton of inbound interest anyway. So whether something does or doesn't happen, I think that's a pretty big deal. But he's accumulating some good logos here, right?
He's got a great resume.
Great resume. Clary, Lavender, Copy.ai, Pavilion, just a chapter head, but still. And then now ClickUp. So I wonder, is global VP of marketing as big as CMO? Is it the head of marketing, or do you think this is?
It depends if ClickUp has a CMO, but I think ClickUp's a bigger company than Copy.ai. So it's a much different kind of caliber that way. But no, I mean, Kyle's one of those guys that, one of those really beat people that wherever you go, I didn't know of Copy.ai before him. I had no idea what that was. Those people that starts creating content on LinkedIn and other places, and you start to understand what the company does, and he's a name.
He's a name. All right. So that's kind of an update. If you didn't know, now you know. But the next big one is actually Sendoso just Casey Jenkins just posted about this like literally an hour before we got on here. You want to cover this one?
Yeah, so Sendoso, gifting platform, acquires Postal, Postal.io, which is also another gifting platform. This acquisition in itself, I don't really care, to be honest. Like that doesn't matter to me. The acquisition, I think like a year after of acquiring Alice is interesting to me. So sending platforms, I spent a lot of money on gifting in like 2020 to 2022. So I kind of understand it a little bit. COVID era, Sendoso booming, Postal, Alice, all these companies were kind of booming. A lot of demand there. Gifting platforms were big, and then it kind of, everything else slowed down. But Sendoso is kind of starting to eat them up. They're just trying to acquire all of them. The only one I can think of that's left is ReachDesk. And there's some other smaller ones for sure, but it's interesting. They're just kind of it's a consolidation play.
It's like the Pac-Man, right? It's just like
Sendoso's just eating them up.
Eating them up.
I mean, I get it. I mean, why not?
Monopolizing the gifting market. I mean, good for them. I do remember the other acquisition. This one did come in fairly quickly as well.
Yeah. It's like a year after.
Yeah, very, very quickly. But I mean, I guess that's the play. If you've got the funds and the means, by all means, go for it. That's one way to take down the competition.
I do remember a time when Postal was kind of eating their lunch because they were cheaper.
Ooh.
No, obviously this is just, it's a very small circle that I'm in. Yes. But I do remember a lot of people like going from Sendoso to Postal because they were cheaper, and still were getting still had the kind of same features. So in my opinion, I don't know the background, but it's a good play.
Yeah.
But also interesting because like gifting is just done. It's all going to be Sendoso at some point.
It's all going to be Sendoso at some point. I wonder then like Postal's differentiator outside of price with them, but I'm imagining then like there's going to be a domino effect of this because there's going to be a lot of like redundancy and like suppliers and shippers and things like that. So I feel like there's going to be some downstream effects of the acquisition, not just from the corporate side of things. Cause it's like, if the main differentiator is price, but we're going to just use Sendoso's suppliers or theirs, like someone's going to get the axe. When we're thinking about a software company that also offers like a tangible side, right? Like a actual product too, you have to think then the supply chain impacts that come from that. But obviously, again, speculation, because like we don't really deeply research anything. We just talk about it.
Also, it's B2B. I mean,
yeah.
People selling B2C products. I'm sure they don't. I mean, I'm sure B2B is cool and all, but like they don't really care.
No.
It's not like that, but you can pick up a volume.
All right. So that is the Sendoso situation. That's kind of our urgent all hands. Not really that urgent.
It was today.
It was today. So we'll say
May 1st.
Relevant. May 1st.
When we're recording.
That's right. But the real juicy stuff is coming in next in the circling back segment, which is we finally have an update on Rippling and Deel. But you did all the research for this, so I'm going to have you run it. Okay.
Well, first off, the Deel CEO fled to Dubai. So that's really freaking hilarious to me.
Amazing.
Which makes it just hard, from what I was reading, it makes it hard to kind of serve them papers and kind of like the lawyers in Dubai too. So it makes it a little bit hard to do kind of the serving, essentially.
Okay.
All that stuff. But what's also more recent is the Deel team who... By the way, put in the spy in Rippling. Right?
Yes.
So Deel is the one that put the spy into Rippling. Rippling kind of set the allegations against Deel. Now Deel's retaliating against Rippling with one. So there's 5 things here. I put a little summary in the doc that
I didn't even read it because I wanted you to like tell me. So excited. Okay, I'm very excited.
Completely fair. There's 5 things here.
Okay.
1, the defamation. So obviously, Rippling. Did the spy thing, blah, blah, blah. Deel's claiming that Rippling made false and damaging statements about Deel, including allegations that Deel engaged in corporate espionage by recruiting a spy within Rippling.
Wait, did they not do that? Oh, so they're pleading not guilty to doing this? I
don't know if you've watched enough SVU or crime shows.
You love it.
But that's what you do. That's what you do. You don't want to plead guilty.
Yeah. You go in
guilty,
denying everything. Okay. All right.
If you pled guilty, the CEO would be out. The board would have kicked the CEO out.
I mean, I feel like the fleeing kind of does that already in some ways.
He's on vacation.
Oh, okay.
With his
He's
lawyer.
got friends. He's got family in Dubai. Probably.
He's got money. I'm sure he's got money. He can hang out in Dubai if he wants.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
The numbers. So basically saying like, you're defamating us. It's not real. Defying, whatever. All right. Number 2, deceptive trade practices. Deel is alleging that Rippling engaged in misleading marketing tactics and unfair competition to undermine Deel's position in the market. That sounds so broad. Is that like, oh, you're using gift card? Like, what is that? What does that even mean?
Okay, so Deel alleges that Rippling engaged in misleading marketing tactics and unfair competition to undermine Deel's. Doing what exactly though? Like, what's the misleading tactic? Just talking about this entire situation or in general?
I think so. I think so. Again, I don't know if you've watched Suits or any of the lawyer shows.
I love Suits.
Yeah, one of the things, one of the biggest tactics is to bury them in paperwork.
Yeah,
bury them in crap. So they just can't do anything. Okay. Is this what I'm thinking it is? It just sounds so broad. The third one is soliciting confidential information. According to Deel, Rippling attempted to obtain confidential information from Deel employees and even placed an insider. Okay, I'm sorry. And even placed an insider within Deel to access internal communications without authorizations.
What? Stop it. We did not engage in corporate espionage. But you know who did? You guys did. This is like when my kids are fighting and my daughter hits my son first, but then she's like, I didn't hit him. He hit me. And I was like, no, this is not. I
was thinking of that analogy before the call, before our recording.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Well, I was just thinking about me and my brother when we were younger. Like, I didn't do it. He did it. But I did.
Yeah, he did.
100% did it. He did it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So that's hilarious, by the way.
Okay.
Number 4, retaliation against whistleblowers. Deel asserts that Rippling pressured a former employee, Keith O'Brien. Oh, okay. So Keith O'Brien's the spy.
Yep.
Right. So Deel asserts that Rippling pressured a former employee, Keith O'Brien, the spy, to provide a distorted account implicating Deel in espionage, whereas O'Brien had initially reported concerns about Rippling's own business practices. Again, I think it's down to like the defamation part. I think it's just...
Yeah, but remember in the episode that we did where we circled back and Keith O'Brien, I think he kind of likes the drama because when he gave his statement, he was like, it was so James Bond-esque. And they told me to go erase everything in the bathroom, the Deel like legal team. And I got all these payments. So there's no pressure here. Like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He loves it. He's loving it. Yeah. He's not a victim here. Okay.
This is one of those stories where his social account is going to blow up and he's going to become famous from this.
He's actually, if anybody should flee to Dubai, it should be Keith O'Brien. Just my opinion.
He doesn't have the cash for that though.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can't fly there with.
He only got 5,000 euros.
5,000 cryptocurrency. Yeah. You can't.
Yeah. You probably can't cash that out yet. And the last one is the financial misconduct. Deel's complaint includes allegations that Rippling misappropriated client funds by misreporting payroll taxes and social benefits as company earnings, thereby defrauding both clients and employees. Where are they getting this information, by the way?
No, you know what's hilarious? It's like, okay, listen, we're going to throw 5 things. We'll see which one sticks. They're all like just wildly different things. They have nothing to do with each other. It's like, first one, it's like, hey, you're talking shit about us. Second one is like, hey, you're using shady marketing tactics. Third one is like, hey, you're pressuring our employees for information. Fourth one is you're pressuring then Keith O'Brien to give you a fake account of our stuff. And then finally, oh, by the way, you're definitely defrauding your entire client base. These are like not even related to each other. And this is all in the same lawsuit?
Yep.
Wow.
And here's the thing. How do they know this information? Did Deel send another spy into Rippling?
Oh.
That's not bad. That could be good. Maybe it's actually all from Keith. Now I think about it though.
Oh, it could be.
Because he would probably have that information, right?
Yes.
That?
Yeah. Wow.
Now, does that held up in court? That's the question.
Ooh. So interesting. I love this. You know why I love this? Because they're kind of just being really petty. Kind of argument that I would hear 2 kids having in a playground, but we are adults and therefore they are using the court system to do this. But it is all very, very, very petty.
Yeah, it's two kids with a lot of money.
Yes, I kind of like it though. Like it's juicy. It's juicy because it's so ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, it's something, right? It's something for B2B. I'm curious when's next. When's the Salesforce HubSpot espionage?
Oh,
that would be fun.
That would be hilarious and fun. People would be very invested because honestly, like, okay, I think Rippling has a little more brand equity than Deel. I don't know. I might get sued for saying that. But like, you know, Salesforce and HubSpot are like, they're like our bread and butter. Like if those companies collapse, like B2B would collapse. I feel like it's like the foundation that we're all built on, right?
People would fill the void. They always do.
With who? Pipedrive? That's like,
I don't even know. Google Sheets? Like
Google Sheets.
No, it'd probably be like Marketo would be like, oh yeah, we're coming in for the
Marketo
automation. They'd be like, yeah, let's do this. They'd be pumped. CRM wise,
Zendesk. Okay.
I'm sure ClickUp and all those people would do because they're like CRM now. Like they're adding CRM functionality.
Oh, I think. Okay. I mean, Airtable, there's a bunch of like things that you could use as CRMs, but people hate Salesforce, collapse. But I also feel like, no, but like a lot of companies are tethered to those companies. So there would be some like unraveling and it would not be pretty, I feel like, if either of those companies went down.
Yeah, but I think actually Rippling and Deel, people are more, because those are payroll taxes. Those are employee stuff. People are more tied to those than Salesforce and HubSpot. Like that ruins your people getting paid.
True.
But they didn't fall.
But
they're just getting espionaged.
I will say this, the Deel retaliation is one of those things that's making Deel look worse than it is Rippling. True or false?
I mean, now that I read it, yes.
Yeah. Now that you read it out loud, you're like, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's not us, it's you that have the spies. Like, come on.
Well, by the way, I mean, we did talk about this before. Like the Rippling CEO's he's not like the biggest saint. Like don't get us wrong. Like they do stuff. I'm sure all these people do stuff. It's just ones are worse.
Yeah. It's like who fucked up the most. That's like literally what this is. We should actually probably do a little more history on some of the stuff for both of them. And then what got to the head that was this corporate espionage situation.
Competition.
Okay.
It's just Salesforce and HubSpot going at each other. It's just the same thing.
Yeah.
Like the market share's there. It's just like, who's going to step over the boundary a little bit to take down the other? It's really what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Tell your VAs. To do a full dissertation on.
Are you saying like in general?
Yeah, we should just talk about like the shit that they've done to each other over the years. And then now it's come to a head with like the biggest thing, which is this corporate espionage thing. But obviously, like when we were doing research initially, they've been going at each other this entire time. You know, this is not like this thing is huge, but their rivalry is not new. You know, this has been going on for a while. Okay, moving on. Next one, the season finale of the Exit 5 application process. Hopefully we can stop talking about this after this part. But so we went through people had to apply, big shocker. People applied, some got in, some were on a wait list. People didn't know what was happening. We covered the email last time from Dan that said, hey guys, we should have been more forthcoming about this and told everybody that we're trying to over-index for our ICP over like consultants and fracks. And we're doing kind of a 75-25% split, 75% being in-house marketers. We've just discovered that this is our ICP, yada, yada. We still value you, TBD on your application. But now people have started getting rejection emails. And so obviously people have sent them over to me and we can read the rejection email. So I think this is very tiny. There's going to be people like, I can't see. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your interest in Drive 2025. We've had an incredible number of applications this year, and with limited space at the venue, we've had to be especially intentional about who we can accommodate. This year, we're focusing on in-house marketers at growing B2B companies to best align with the content and conversations planned for the event. Since we're keeping this year's event focused on in-house marketers and space for other applicants like agencies, freelancers, and broader company types is already full, we aren't able to offer you a ticket to Drive 2025 at this time. And at this time is bolded. We want to be really transparent with you about how we're handling applications. One, we're aiming for a mix of about 75% in-house and 25% agency consultant or fractional marketers, simply because that's where we can deliver the most value right now. As Exit 5 and Drive evolve, we're trying to be clear about the kind of community we're building while still finding ways to include and celebrate every part of the marketing world. We deeply appreciate you taking the time to apply, and we know how valuable your perspective is to the Exit 5 community. The good news, we're already planning for a bigger venue next year so we can open the doors wider to marketers across more company types and backgrounds. In the meantime, we'll let you know if more tickets become available. Thanks again for being part of this community and for supporting Drive, the Exit 5 team. So we're exploring offering a live stream option for Drive this year. If that's something you'd be interested in, just reply to us and let us know your thoughts. So that's the email that a few people got and sent over to me, obviously expressing deep disappointment that they weren't there. You raising your hand. What's up?
Was this all the people that sent you this? Was this all agencies, freelancers?
Yes. Yes, yeah. They were fractionals, consultants, not agencies, but fractionals and consultants. I also know some people at agencies where like one person at the agency got in, but the other person did not get in. So they were kind of being specific about like, okay, well, we don't probably need 2 people from this company taking up space. So we'll try to diversify and get, somebody else.
They applied at the same time though?
Applied at the same time when it opened.
Exact same time?
I don't know how exact same time. Maybe within
one day off.
The same day. No, it was the same day. It was the day that it was launched.
But it was like a few hours?
I don't know. I did not.
I'm just saying, timing matters. Timing matters.
Like, hey, can you give me the exact moment that you applied? We're trying to
auto response. We need the time, date, your title, all that stuff. You got to qualify these people.
Well, first, I'm going to say this. It sucks for anybody to get rejected, right? No one wants to get denied. I can understand the disappointment and fury of some people. There was one person who got that rejection email. They were willing to fly in from the UK to the event and was like, well, guess I'm not going now. So that kind of was a little upsetting for them. I think the email is like written as nice as you can. Like there's no good way to deliver bad news, but they did the best that they could. We also did talk to Dan this week and he was just like, look, we are learning on the fly. We're learning in public and we're stumbling a lot, but we're like trying to figure it out. Because again, we've talked about this. What is a clear answer? So what ended up happening is like that 25% was like really a way that they were going through the applications. And then he did say that people who attended in year 1 did get priority for this year. And he's like, we didn't do a good job communicating that, hey, if you attended last year, you kind of did get pushed to the top of the list to attend this year. Okay. What are your thoughts?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, there's really no good answer. I mean, there's just no good answer, unfortunately. They're trying certain things. Maybe I think the email was it's very nice. Like it says at this time, giving kind of like a little open-ended. Yes. Maybe I wouldn't put at this time now I think about it because you don't want to give people hope.
Well, because I think what happened last time is they sold out all their tickets and then last minute, a bunch of people couldn't go. So they had like, I don't know what the number is, but like 10, 20, whatever, a dozen tickets kind of left over. And then those people didn't come. And then they didn't have a wait list or anything. So like they just kind of lost that. So I think they still have everybody on this list. And then if someone falls off, they're going to reach out to the list that got the denial and said, hey, actually, we got some tickets open up. Do you still want to go? I get why he said at this time and why it was bolded to kind of say like, okay, you can't come unless we have. I
will say that's like a little hack there because HubSpot Inbound's like the same. It's a huge conference, but they sell out of tickets. And when they do sell out tickets, there's always people that can't go and they'll sell their tickets.
Yes.
You can just get them from half off really. But for this process, if they're actually going to say, all right, you bought your ticket, we'll refund you because we have a back wait or a waiting list. That's actually not a bad process, right? Because there's probably going to be like you said, 10, 20 people that say they can't go. And then they'll be scrambling to try to sell their tickets. But if they tell Exit 5, I can't go, we'll refund you. We know some people on the waiting list. So maybe they got to start a waiting list. I don't know. And then they can sell them to them.
So I thought about this a little bit more because Exit 5 also launched just like a women in B2B marketing space in the community this week. So I thought that was really cool. And so I'm envisioning it's going to go one of two ways, or maybe both ways. One is they're going to have a bunch of mini events throughout the year. So like women in B2B marketing specifically, you know, they have like their Portland meetup or Boston meetup. They had these like Austin meetup. They had like little meetups everywhere. They're going to do a lot more of that. And then Drive will kind of be like their hub, their bigger conference where, you know, a lot more of the community can come, still indexing more for in-house marketers. So that's kind of how I see it happening. But there's going to be this like screening thing that's going to happen if you do a bunch of micro events. Yeah.
Things are probably a lot easier when it was just Dave for him. He didn't have to do all
Dave's he's living his best life right now. He doesn't give a shit what's up. He's like, that's all Dan's problem.
Yeah, true.
He's like, Dan can just deal with it. I'm going to play golf and hang out with my family, which is perfect. Love it. Love that.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He can probably go to Dubai. If he wants, if he has to, he can go to Dubai. Just hang out with the Deel CEO.
Yeah. I don't know if he'd hang out with the Deel CEO, but he definitely just go to Dubai. Yeah, for sure.
Probably not, no.
Okay. Now.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's the season finale. Please, I think we can chill on the Drive thing until something crazy happens. But yeah.
Always is.
Maybe we'll record an episode live from there because you and I are going. Thankfully, we were accepted, knock on wood.
I don't know how we got accepted.
I don't know how we got accepted. Yeah. I mean, probably these episodes are going to make sure that they reject us and our applications after that, right?
I mean, those donations don't hurt, I guess, right?
Yeah.
The
donation of my time as an unpaid intern at Exa5 who, you know, I'm constantly in there doing the webinars and everything else. You write checks?
Where are my checks going here?
Yeah. You paying me checks?
No, not you.
Okay. You should.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. For single-handedly promoting this podcast. Have you even promoted it once?
I did it twice,
one time.
Actually.
Oh.
2x. I texted you. I said I was going to do it again.
You said you were going to do it again. Did you do it again?
No, because it was right before the pod.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be, you haven't got to be into the pod.
Fine. Okay.
All right. We got a little noodle in?
We got some noodle in. Some interesting stuff. Okay. You go first. I did see this post and I forgot about it. I saw the post, but I don't know why I didn't think, we should cover it. Okay. Do it. I'm excited.
Okay. So this post, the summary here is Duolingo said they're going to be an AI first company. It's a post from Devin P about it. But the whole thing is Duolingo, you know, the bird. So they're going to be an AI first company, which said they're going to stop using contractors to do work that AI can handle. They're going to use AI in their hiring processes. They're going to use AI in performance review evaluations, a number of other things. I'm sure they got AI SDRs and all that stuff too. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of backlash.
Ooh, let's zoom in on some of these. Ooh, it's juicy.
The thing about Duolingo is they have a big audience on all platforms, right?
Yes.
TikTok and Instagram, LinkedIn. So they get a lot of comments, right? And so they can actually get feedback. That's not just great job with an AI comment. Let's just read off a couple here. Heard y'all were replacing contract workers with AI. What's up with that? Duolingo's AI first policy, getting rid of contract workers, killed my streak, deleting the app for good.
Wow.
The downfall of Duolingo hath begun.
And it's funny because we just gave them kudos a couple of episodes ago for their April Fools. But the first one, I really not like that one. That one's a juicy one where it says, I just uninstalled and canceled my membership. The translations were already kind of bad, but with AI, only downhill from here.
Wow.
Okay.
So people...
Not happy. Whoa, this guy about to break his 1,122 day streak to delete it. I'm sure you can also buy AI students to fill in for me. Woo!
Well, hatred here.
Yeah, that's a little spicy.
Now, the reason I brought it up is because you see this on LinkedIn all the time. I calling people out for using AI. You see an M dash and they just freak out for whatever reason.
Yes.
Anything that's AI, they kind of call out the images, people hate it for some reason. There's a love and a hate on AI in the B2B world. Even just from my side of it, I'm working with some companies and they were just saying we don't even use M dashes anymore in copywriting because we're worried that
people will think that
people call it out. Yeah. Even if it's not from that, it's just an actual, I've never used an M dash, but I know some people do. I'm not the best speller though, by the way. But I know some people do. And I do read books. So whoever says that.
They're in, books is where they use it. I'm not a huge M- user.
Where is the M-, by the way? Is it this?
You have to hit like 3 buttons to do it. And I think that's the biggest thing is like people are like, no one is doing that. Everyone's going to use the smaller one, the N- or whatever, because that one it's a 1 click. So why would people do 3 to just add that? So, but there are a lot of writers, copywriters, and obviously like any book you open just religiously uses the M-. So that's where the arguments come in. My comment on this story is when I see this happening, remember, I think we covered this a while ago, but it was in an episode that we just never launched. When Lattice announced that they were going employee, all AI first employees. You remember that?
I do, but why didn't we?
Because we just didn't launch it.
I didn't launch that?
No, 15 months we recorded, and there was some juicy stuff in there.
I remember
that.
Like, yeah,
fuck it.
They deleted. They stopped that real quick.
Oh, I know, so bad. The Lattice one. We should do a throwback.
We should do like a throwback.
Yeah, we'll do a throwback, and we'll do an end of year like the spiciest shit in B2B list, and that we can bring Lattice back on that one. But Lattice basically announced that they were. They were just going to hire AI employees and give them like performance reviews and like all of this shit. And people ate them for fucking lunch. Like they were like, you're the worst. How can you be a people first company? Blah, blah, blah. So with Duolingo, I think what is happening is if people are like, oh, I use AI for like idea generation and like automation stuff, people are like, okay, cool. That's a nice use case for it, whatever. When you start talking about replacing people entirely and you're very open about it, like, hey, we're going to replace contractors, we're going to replace like hiring people, we're going to evaluate you using a robot, we're not even going to insert the human emotions. Like as much as we want to say it, like work is personal and you're like kind of fucking with people's livelihoods, and so everyone's up in arms. I mean, we are in a rough market. There are a lot more consultants, freelancers, contractors, that kind of stuff. And now you're saying, well, we don't need you. We're just going to do everything with AI. My thing is, there's probably a ton of companies doing this. Why Duolingo decided to announce it is going to be beyond me, because there's probably a lot of companies who are doing this behind the scenes, but you put yourself out there and it's now a shark attack.
Every company is doing this, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because it's a capitalistic country. Like, you want to make more money.
We're greedy.
You don't hire more people that you don't need them anymore. Like engineers, you don't need as many engineers anymore. Like this is happening all the time. But yeah, to your point, like don't talk about it.
Like why are you announcing it? And with Duolingo, like people love them and their branding and their marketing. They just had a huge win with the April Fool's Day. And like, I get the, like, I think they wanted, maybe on one side, they're like, we're a super forward thinking company and this is how we're using AI. And they totally fudged it up. Like they should have probably talked about maybe like some specific use cases, like how they're like helping people get to courses they need faster or like whatever. Like, I think those types of things are different than saying, oh, we're just going to replace a bunch of people. And now you have an already sensitive market reacting to this, and not just the anger with Duolingo, but anger for like, capitalism, how companies are moving in this direction already.
I will say one part of me, because Duolingo has a kind of do you remember like they killed off the bird?
Yes. Did they actually? I'm still confused.
Like there was a whole thing where like they killed it off, and then there's another backstory, and I didn't see the backstory, but
and it was resurrected.
Yeah, it came back. I do wonder, because they're kind of out there, right? They're a little bit interesting. Yeah. I do wonder if this is just a ploy. Like this is just another joke, like to get people talking. I'm honestly curious, because it could be like serious. They're probably doing it, but it could just be I don't know.
Anger everyone and just say, just kidding. If anybody would do it, it would be them. Like if Lattice came back and we're like, just kidding. We're like, yeah, okay, guys, that's not happening.
Wait.
Did Lattice say that they were kidding?
No. Oh. But I thought it was a joke at first. But what if, this would be funny actually. What if Duolingo comes out with another bird called AI?
Okay. And
they replace the workers with birds. Like that's the whole thing.
Oh,
get it?
Oh my God.
Wait, but did you see the
actual bird in the
yeah. What if that's AI?
What's the actual bird's name?
Duolingo. I think
Duo?
it's Duo. It's Duo.
It is Duo?
Oh, okay. So this is a CEO, Duolingo CEO sending all hands out. Hear me out, right? The bird's called AI. Stop using contractors to do work AI bird can handle. Use AI bird in their hiring process.
Wow.
AI bird in performance review evaluations. What if it's something like that?
Anytime in the future that you tell me I'm reaching, I'm going to just like flash back to this moment.
Job. Not reaching. It's not bad. It's not bad.
I mean, okay, I will eat my words when I'm proven wrong, but I feel like that's a reach.
Using AI though. So it's just like,
what we need to find is the actual original Duolingo issued communication.
well, it was a statement from the CEO.
From the statement in an all hands. So someone leaked it from inside the company.
Probably
so they
Keith
actually,
O'Brien.
So
Tie back.
So they actually did not release it to the public, but some outraged employee was like, fuck this. We're going to put this out there.
Probably because
that's even juicier though.
Probably because they're getting fired by AI.
Yeah. They're probably the HR person that's like, shit, I do the hiring processes and I like, project manage the performance reviews. Like I'm fucked. So I'm going to release this to the press. I'm going to go out with a bang.
Well, look at this headline. Entrepreneur. This is from today, May 1st. Duolingo says AI completed work in 12 months that took humans 12 years. Shit, why not?
Wait, Duolingo announced it was replacing human contract workers with AI and then launched 148 new AI written courses. Oh boy. I don't think this is an AI bird situation.
No, me either.
Okay.
But look,
good. I'm glad
if that's the truth, 12 months versus, I mean, the humans got to step it up. I think, but back to the whole premise of it, right? The AI, they just launched 148 AI courses. Mm-hmm. I think that only is a problem if you don't have humans checking it right now. Right? You put out something with AI, like you and I both use AI, right? We use ChatGPT, we get ideas, we get content, and then, but you still have to check it. Yeah. If you just put it out, that thing, if those courses have M dashes all over it, you're screwed. But you still have to have humans check everything before it comes out. Okay, random question though. Do other languages use M dashes? Or is it just English? I feel like I have to, I have to look this up because like, what if in France, they're like, why is everyone complaining about M dashes? And, maybe for them, it's like an accent graph or whatever. It's like an AI tell, Maybe like, X's. Maybe it's just X's. Languages. Okay. I found the actual post. Oh, what is it? Let me see it. So actually Duolingo posted it. It says, here's a statement from our CEO, I think it said. Oh, by the way, other languages do use M dashes. Not all of them, but French and Spanish. So I used a poor example. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's the worst example ever. All right. So here's the Duolingo post. Blows an all hands email from our CEO, Louis von Un, which has is that an M dash or an Un dash? I think that's a regular dash. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta zoom in here. Okay. All right. Oh, let's see what's going on. You want me to read it? Like skim through it? Yeah, okay. Yeah. You love when I read it versus you. Okay. I've said this in Q&As and many meetings, but I want to make it official. Duolingo is going to be AI first. AI is already changing how work gets done. Not a question of if or when, it's happening now. When there's a shift this big, the worst thing you can do is wait. In 2012, we bet on mobile. While others were focused on mobile companion apps for websites, we decided to build mobile first because we saw it was the future. The decision helped us win the 2013 iPhone App of the Year and unlocked organic word of mouth growth that followed. Betting on mobile made all the difference. We're making a similar call now, and this time the platform shift is AI. AI isn't just a productivity boost. It helps us get closer to our mission. To teach well, we need to create a massive amount of content, and doing that manually doesn't scale. One of the best decisions we made recently was replacing a slow manual content creation process with one powered by AI. Without AI, it would take us decades to scale our content to more learners. I wonder how they did the math on that. We owe it to our learners to get them this content with AI. ASAP Rocky. He probably was like, oh, Doug took
Doug. They used AI. Okay. Tell me how you're better than all the humans on my team. Okay. AI also helps us build features like video call that were impossible to build before for the first time. Oh, vibe coding too, huh? For the first time ever, teaching as well as the best human tutors within our reach. Ooh, that's spicy. That's like, see, you're starting to mess with people. Yeah. Being AI first means we need to rethink how much we work. Making minor tweaks to systems designed for humans won't get us there. In many cases, we'll need to start from scratch. We're not going to rebuild everything overnight, and some things like getting AI to understand a code base will take time. Oh, we're going to use the humans until we can't anymore. Oh, sorry, M dash. There's a couple of M dashes there. However, we can't wait until the technology is 100% perfect. We'd rather move with urgency and take some small hits. So this is what they're going to roll out. We'll gradually stop using contractors to do work that AI can handle. AI use will be part of what we're looking for in hiring. AI use will be part of what we evaluate in performance reviews. Headcount will only be given if a team cannot automate more of their work. Most functions will have specific initiatives to fundamentally change how they work. All of this said, Duolingo will remain a company that cares deeply about its employees. This isn't about replacing duos with AI. It's about removing bottlenecks. That's such an AI tell, by the way. This isn't about da-da-da. It's about da-da-da. That's also AI, just FYI. It's about removing bottlenecks so we can do more with the outstanding duos we already have. We want you to focus on creative work and problems, not repetitive tasks. Okay. So, and then there's some like sign off and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like Devin P's post looked a little bit different than this guy's bullets, because what he's saying here is it will be part of what we are looking for in hiring. So a candidate coming in who knows how to use AI, great. And then it will be part of, what are you doing? Tim is currently screenshotting the announcement. Yeah, the AI first. Of course, it was written by AI, and he's trying to see if ChatGPT will tell us whether it was written by AI.
It'll tell us. It's smart.
Yeah, it's smart. Yeah, I know. It's replacing a bunch of duos. Apparently.
Oh, I saw 2 M dashes in there.
Was likely written by a human.
Okay. All right. Well, the Lewis signature part was one of it. So
that's what. Okay. Okay. Wait, go back to it though. So yeah, in the post, he says, we're going to gradually stop using contractors, right?
Wait, which post? You're talking about Devin's or the
Go to Duolingo's first.
Gotcha.
So it says, we're going to gradually stop using contractors. We will be looking for candidates, like looking for AI use when we're hiring. We'll also be evaluating performance reviews based on using AI. Now, he phrased it as they're going to stop using contractors to do work that AI can handle, use AI in hiring processes, use AI in performance review evaluations. I feel like those mean different things. They do. I mean, it's a LinkedIn post, right? I know. Yeah. Yeah. Like you kind of get it did pretty well. I'll give it to him. You know, it probably got it did do well. So anyway, but I mean, most companies are probably moving to this. I understand the reasoning with mobile first. This comment, which I love, will gradually stop using contractors to do work that AI can handle. But also, quote, all this said, Duolingo will remain a company that deeply cares about its employees. This isn't about replacing duos with AI. Duolingo, you really may wish to pick a side. It wasn't written by AI there, Blair. Are you going to comment and respond to Blair, perhaps? Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're a shit stirrer, which is why this is live on air here. We're getting a little plug. Oh no. It doesn't do the thing. No, it doesn't do the thing. You have to save it. No, you have to I know, LinkedIn comment images are the worst. I always want to. I might quit on this. It's just too much. Too much going on right now. Anyway, so Duolingo under a lot of fire, but my opinion is that most companies are moving towards this. Their comms were just first leaked and then they just took ownership of it. But in essence, people aren't happy, and we're going to continue to not be happy as more companies do this, and they will. Here's the other side of it. Hashtag capitalism. Here's the other side of it. The Duolingo social team has a quota, I'm assuming, of reach of something. And they know what posts are going to get them a bunch of company page views. And that thing got 4,500 likes and 48 comments. Well, go to that page. What do they usually get? What do they usually get? Do they get thousands? I'm sure. They still go for, but not like
5,000. I mean, this is 1,000. Like they're big, but like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, this probably has money behind it. I mean, yeah, some of them do, but you know, this week they're maybe a little behind. They know what's going to stir up the pot. They're a little behind their quota. You got to hit quota.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's tank the brand.
Hey, we're talking about them. Free buzz here. You got to sponsor it.
I don't know if it's a good thing if we talk about anyone here. But
all press is good press.
Is it?
That's what they say.
Okay.
That's what they say. That's what press says.
Let's noodle on. Do we even have time to noodle on two more things?
There's always time.
Okay. I don't know if it's always time. We've had hard stops before, but I don't today. So
no hard stop here. So no circle backs here.
No circle back. Okay. So we're going to noodle on this thing. I found a couple of things on Reddit that I want to talk about. Yes. So this post in the B2B marketing subreddit, and it says, have you ever hired someone from LinkedIn just because they had a good following? I've been hearing this story a lot lately. People hiring popular LinkedIn personalities who turned out to be not so great. From ghostwriters to marketers, I've heard plenty of bad experiences. Honestly, if I had to hire an SEO, I might do the same. Go to LinkedIn search, reach out to whoever shows up at the top, which is an interesting way to find an SEO. Like people actually just searching for SEO. So this is why it's probably important to have it in your tagline and other places. Mm-hmm. LinkedIn naturally pushes popular people and those close to your network. So how do you vet for such roles and make sure that they're legit? You want me to keep going? Okay.
Oh, like we're reading the comments? There's a lot of comments.
Well, yeah. So now from the time I sent this to you, it's doubled in comments. There's 28 comments in here. And it says, I believe for someone to be legit, especially with marketing, ghostwriting, SEO stuff, it's not the following, but what matters is portfolio, testimonials, blah, blah, blah. But essentially, I think I've seen some of this. Okay. So when I first started writing on LinkedIn, there were some larger creators who were like, I will help you make 6 figures and blah, blah, blah. And I hit 6 figures with my ghostwriting business. But then as I got embedded into the community a little bit more and I knew what was happening behind the scenes, a couple of them were in coaching programs and stuff. And they were like, how do I make money? How do I hit 6 figures? I'm like, wait, you posted repeatedly about how you run a 6-figure agency, but now you're asking this coach publicly in our little community how you can, you're having issues reaching 6 figures. So there's a lot of snake oil bullshit that's going on there, obviously. Oh, yeah. There's this person who says, I'm quite active on LinkedIn. Here are my thoughts. The number of LinkedIn followers and actual knowledge has no correlation. That makes sense. So for example, in my industry, PPC, the people who have the most followers are usually sharing news, not actual insights. So I saw this comment a few times where there are people with large followers who will talk about trends more than they actually share expertise. That is also a telltale sign. Creating content on LinkedIn is hard. So if someone is a freelancer and posting 3 times a day, you can wonder how much time they have to actually be working on something.
Oh, that's not true, to be honest.
Because you post twice a day, don't you?
No.
How busy can you be?
I wish I did. There was a point that I did twice a day. And I can tell you right now, I know more than they know, but it's not completely right. But you're not wrong. I mean, there's that too.
Yeah. So so there's a lot of this inverse relationship. And Brendan Hufford and I had talked about this a little while ago, and we talked about the popularity tax. So, I started my business when I had 5,000 followers, and it was a successful business at the time. But also there's this air of now I'll get messages. And if I respond, sometimes people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you responded to me. I'm like, why would I not respond to people on here? I don't know. So it's just one of those things where it's oh, are people are they going to think that you're unreachable at some stage or not want to purchase from you or have a bad experience with a few? There is a big LinkedIn influencer. I'm not going to name names, and LinkedIn ads influencer, very popular, posts a lot of great stuff, gets a ton of inbound, super cost efficient. But I have had a lot of overlap with my clients where they're like, yeah, we're using this big person's agency to run our ads, and they get burned. They're passed off to junior talent. They're not responsive, all of that stuff that happens. And Kedidosies. And so that's where, you kind of have to watch. But I think the procurement process is going to be the same no matter what. It's just, it's hard because you're tied to like this person that you may like, and you confuse likability for competency. Right.
Well, I think they're talking about hiring too. So I don't know. I know what you're saying with the freelancing part, but.
Oh, you were talking. Oh, this is like a full-time employee.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I will
actually
say,
didn't even put that together.
What I would say is there's obviously no correlation. There is people on there, and we all know them, who have a big following and are just not experts. It's very broad topics, right? It's just you don't have to have a big following and be an expert. But you can also be an expert and have 0 followers. But you can also be an expert and have a big following. But I wouldn't say anyone can say that if they have a big following, you shouldn't hire them. It's just some of the best individual contributors, directors, VPs don't post on LinkedIn at all.
That's true. I mean, I wasn't that person for the longest time. I was too busy working 50, 60 hours a week. But like, I would say I was decent at my job, but I didn't see the value in it. And I think it's that too, where they're like, why would I go waste my time doing that? But it's kind of one of those things where like you have to see something happen and then realize, oh shit, because it was a light bulb moment for me. And I was just doing it for fun. And then I started getting people ask me if I did consulting work and so that's kind of how it worked for me. But anyway, point is, vet them like anybody else, like what is the proof? What are the results? Has anybody else used you? Those types of things. Yeah, there are a lot of people selling snake oil, but that's fair to say about anything. I mean, how many influencers on Instagram are selling you bullshit, You
can say about everything. But that's the thing.
MLM
there's even
scams.
There's even people that are going to go through the hiring process. They're going to sell you bullshit and they have no following, but they're really good at the hiring process. They are those people too.
Yeah.
But I will also say, if there's 2 people, exact same expertise, one has a following on LinkedIn and you're marketing to marketers, you better fucking hire the follower person, because they're going to get you business outside of that.
Yeah. Because they're going to talk about the company that they're working at. Yeah.
Exactly. Again, if everything's the same, right?
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
That said, they also know their value more to an extent, and they might go out and probably charge more, or go out on their own at some point and leave.
Or leave you and go to a different company because they're getting a ton of inbound interest. Risks altogether. Like Kyle. Yeah. Like Kyle Coleman.
Like we all know those companies that hired an army of people with followers.
Yes.
And those don't last long.
Vector's doing it.
I'm not calling
what? Here. It is. We talked. Vector's hired Jess Cook. Who's the other person that they hired? That was like, everyone's like, oh my God. We'll circle back on it next time because they were not someone that I wanted to cover. But yeah, we keep talking about like Vector's building an army with people who have strong following, strong expertise in these areas. So, but TBD, does that work?
It doesn't mean they don't have expertise in this context. It's just, I think the best example of this is either Lavender or Apollo. Like remember Lavender, they hired some heavy hitters: Will Aiken, Jen Allen, Chelsea Castle, Todd Clouser. All I know are also experts, by the way. This is not about the expertise thing, but hiring those people, how do you find that mix that works well? It's not, and it obviously worked well for them, but they're all, a year later, they're all gone.
They're all gone. Interesting.
Sure, it doesn't always work out like that, Apollo, same. They hired a bunch of people that had followers. They all left.
Yep. All left.
But they also got banned on LinkedIn, so a little circle back there.
Yeah, a little circle back there. So the army may not be a good strategy.
It could be, though.
Who has it worked for?
Yeah.
Maybe Clay, but Clay only has the one, right? And then he's partnering, like Obed is partnering with influencers, but not necessarily hiring them on. Interesting. Okay. All right.
HockeyStack, maybe.
Just do your due diligence. Don't just hire someone because you like them or because they're popular.
Yeah, who does that? Yeah, that's on you. If you hire someone because they have a good follower, and you're like, and you ask them a simple question, that's on you. That's not anyone else.
Yeah, don't blame. Don't blame the people who worked hard to get the following. You know
what you could do if they have a following. You can just pay them $1,000 to post about your company if you want the same thing.
There you go. Perfect. Boom. Then you don't even have to hire them and you can still capitalize on the audience.
Exactly. No freaking insurance crap or payroll taxes.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Follow for more tips.
Brilliant. And you can write it off, sort of.
What? No,
This is not tax advice, by the way.
no, please do not take tax advice from Tim Davidson or me.
Oh, absolutely not. I have to freaking hire someone new.
Okay. This was really interesting. This was actually LinkedIn Lunatics.
This can't be
But
real.
it was a story from a different subreddit. But it brought up an interesting conversation, which was like this person saying that they're getting dates on LinkedIn. And I sent it to Tim and I'm like, even if this was fake, the fact that someone like thought about this, and I wonder, there has to be, I mean, how many millions of people are on LinkedIn? I bet there's some people who are like, you know what? Maybe I would use it to get some dates on LinkedIn, you know?
But do you count relate business? What if it's not, you use LinkedIn for dates, but you met someone because of LinkedIn and it progressed into dating?
I mean, that seems more natural. Like that could happen.
Yeah. Well,
you meet someone, you're just trying to be like, you're just friends and you're like, this is cool. You meet them at an event or whatever in person. And then like you keep in touch and totally. That could totally happen. That's like meeting someone at work. It's the same thing. But like going on there with the intention of like, I'm going to see if there's anybody who's a good fit for me. Using it. I mean, there is more information than a Hinge profile. So, which I don't even know what Hinge's interface looks like because I have not been on dating apps in 10 years. And I'm from the like Tinder generation. So
I'm from MySpace. So
you met your wife on MySpace?
No, I'm saying I'm from the MySpace era.
You met your wife at college.
Yes.
I met my husband on Tinder. I met my husband on Tinder. So Tinder success story.
All right, let's read this.
Okay, let's read this. Okay, I am getting dates on LinkedIn by Strawberry Soul 7777. Okay, dating apps don't inspire me. And if the men I truly admire are on LinkedIn, why not look them up there? It's wild, I know. But if I'm going to invest my time, let it be with a man who can at least write a complete message without fire emojis. Is that what's happening on Hinge right now? Just fire emojis?
Not wrong.
So I decided to give it a shot. And lo and behold, my first connection that went somewhere was with Diego on LinkedIn. Wild. It felt easy and natural. So yeah, my process went kind of like this. LOL. Like they know it's ridiculous. Who's on my radar? That's the filter. Basically looked for guys in tech, consulting, creative fields, people who seem driven. How do you search for that? If I saw founder or CEO but couldn't find their company online, red flag. Next.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Profile picture had to be professional-ish, but not boring. Someone I was actually attracted to. No gym selfies or bathroom mirror pics. Who the fuck has bathroom mirror pics and gym selfies on their LinkedIn profile?
I guarantee you there's some.
I'm sure there's like a whole side of LinkedIn that you and I have never like gone over to, but I bet it's a freaking horror show on that.
Well, I bet you this person's just comparing like a Hinge, right? Where it would be gym selfies and bathroom pics.
It would be hilarious to see that in the wild, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Work experience. Wasn't looking for the richest dude, which you would never know anyway.
Fair.
But just someone with a solid track record tells me a lot about their goals and stability. So you think she's looking like, oh, this person's only been at this company for 1 year, or like serial job hopper, like I'm not into them.
Probably. They're probably looking at the progression, right? Are they going from manager to executive? I think that's what she's looking for, or director, whatever, just going the progression.
But this is interesting because this is probably exactly how HR would screen candidates too. I mean, it's literally the same criteria. Skill check. If communication or leadership had multiple endorsements, my brain went, ooh, who might actually be nice to people? My move was to find something cool, and they dropped a genuine comment and then send a connection request. And there was actually like a go-to message, but I don't know if they actually, they do. Okay, let's look at it. Hey, name. Really interesting point you made about topic in their post or profile.
Oh my.
Would love to connect and maybe learn more about your take on something else specific from their profile. Key takeaway here, play it cool. You are not desperate. After Diego accepted, I started playing the engagement game, but subtly. I don't want to freak him out. A like here, maybe an insightful comment there. A few days later, I sent a casual message related to something in his experience. He didn't reply instantly, but when he did, the conversation actually flowed. It felt so I smoothly dropped a line about wanting to keep the convo going and wrote, hey, you. I've been digging into the topic we were chatting about more. Would you mind if I shot you a text to keep talking about this? What? We exchanged numbers and agreed to grab coffee. I wish I could tell you it was sparks fly, but honestly, he was talking about his vision. I got this weird vibe. It wasn't chemistry. It felt like he was selling me on investing in his crypto.
That's funny.
This is such a fake story, but I'm still loving it.
It is.
Disappointment. Literally that same afternoon, another connection replied, support engineer. His profile was way less corporate, but his messages were funny. La-di-da. Anyway, point is, I bet you, even if this is a joke, I bet you
it could work.
Somebody, yeah. It's
I honestly think it could work.
Subreddit.
I really think it could work. I want to be clear. I do think it could work if you're a woman going for a man. Mm-hmm. I think all the creepy texts come from a man talking to a woman. Mm-hmm. That said, if you're doing it as a woman to a man, LinkedIn doesn't show married or not. Mm-hmm. You will obviously, let's be clear, you probably will get some married men that say yes anyway. Ooh. Unfortunately, it's just the truth. Mm-hmm. But you also can't see if they're in a relationship. You can't see all this stuff. But I will say it's just at that point, it probably is a numbers game and you will get a bunch of weirdos. But if you do it enough times, I'm sure you'll find the right one. I really do think that's true. You'll find a bunch of people that just go to this coffee talk and talk about crypto and they're lame. And you'll get a bunch of no's because they're married or they're whatever. And then I think you're just going to spend a lot more time doing it. It's just, I think it could work, unfortunately.
I mean, that's like, you could say the same thing about Hinge or Tinder. It could work. You're going to meet a bunch of weirdos and married guys, but it could work.
But there's more people on Hinge, but people are on Hinge because they want to find a date.
Yeah.
People on LinkedIn are not finding a date.
Right.
So if people, and there's still some people that are just out there just work first, right? They don't want to find a date. So you're still gonna get you're gonna get the bucket of married people, the bucket of people in relationships, bucket of people that have kids, bucket of people that are not trying to do these things. And you're not listing out traits, right? Yeah. Hinge and all that stuff. I'm assuming there's like filters. Yeah. So like you still have to play around with that stuff, but I do think it could work. It's just like you need 100. But I also think that person's going to be great at sales. Like, why don't you, if you're not in sales, you should get in sales. Strawberry Slurpee or whatever your name is, get in sales. But, and also pink. Diego, I don't know, the pink. Yeah. And here's the thing, as a person who's met now a lot of friends over the last couple of years on LinkedIn, married, single, mostly married, because I'm also mid 30s and everybody I know is in our community, at least, is like not, I don't know. Yeah, you're not DMing SDRs all the time, are you? No, why? Are those the ones that are available? Well, they're usually younger. I'm just... Oh, okay. I'm learning a lot about the dating in B2B world. No, I'm saying like, if you think about the progression of your sales, you start at the young, SDR. You started as a SDR. Okay. So you want to really target like the specialists and like... Well, specialists are usually young too. You want to target like a manager, director... Yeah. If you want to make, if you're young. Well, no, because they don't have the background. I don't know. You don't know this person's age either. Yeah. Maybe they're like 35. Yeah. Maybe they're. But I'm saying like you could find people. I mean, you're in the same space. You like. You have topics you can talk about. You have topics. You have companies. Like there's a lot. There's a lot someone could like bond over and fall for each other. So and if you love your work, right? Like if you're a work hustle person. And you can find someone else that's like that. That's a good place to find someone like that. That's like a work first type of mentality. Yeah. I'm just saying. You can hustle and grow together. It could work. Yeah. The numbers game. It could. It's going to be one of those things where it's like the intention though. So like on Hinge or a dating site, people are there for the same interest. But if you're on LinkedIn, they're looking for more work and opportunities and networking. Like, I mean, I'm a woman who's on LinkedIn all the time. And sometimes I see posts where like other women are like, oh my God, this guy reached out to me with some like gnarly message. Knock on wood, I have not gotten any of that in my time posting. So the intentions are typically like pure, but it's kind of like, oh, just because your ICP is hanging out in here doesn't mean that they want to buy from you. But we're going to market to them anyway. It's kind of like the same concept of like intention matters a lot, Could do a dual call to action. Hear me out. So say it's ICP. So like for your job, ICP person, you're in sales. It's an ICP person, also someone that you want to like, you wouldn't hate dating. You could go for the date, or you could do a date call to action. or you can do a, intro call demo real quick. Call to action. So like that way you kind of get like a waterfall here, right? And sometimes you get both, but could go either way. Dual call to action could work.
I think you actually kind of really like this idea. I'm not going to lie.
I'm just trying to start a course, just going for the course here.
The dating or demo.
The DD.
The guide to dating or demo. Life partner or all-in-one platform.
The dual call to action that never fails.
We're already going over, but I want to finish on a very strong note.
That wasn't it?
That wasn't it.
Wow.
A strong note. It's not even in our little... It's not even on our little docket.
What do you mean little?
It is something that I just got sent to me.
Like during show?
While we were talking. Yeah.
Mid-show.
Someone sent this to me.
May 1st, by the way.
Last week, we talked about HockeyStack's post where he talked about, hey, we have this outbound cold calling doc comment cold or whatever to get it. And though he had 8,000 comments and he had commented on his post saying, if anyone will jump on a podcast, show my post and call out metrics or my post BS, you can reach out to me directly and I can show you our metrics. I wonder if he did this after he listened to our show because we kind of went in on it.
I was going to say, it sounds like that.
And I also posted a clip of the episode today. And this happened after, so he probably saw it.
Where did he comment? Is this on your post?
No, I think it's on his post, right? I don't know. All I have is the screenshot. All I have is a screenshot. So it might be on my post. I haven't checked my notifications. To which Brendan did.
Brendan sent you the screen. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So then we got Brendan.
Yeah, it's got to be on your post.
Did you send the asset to all 8,762 people that comment on your post? That was my only question. I love him. But are you going to check whether it's on my post? All right, let's see.
Maybe we should have him on.
Yeah. Who? Amir? Well, we are going to have now, is it John Burke? Did I say that right now? John Burke, who used to work at HockeyStack, we have him scheduled on May 13th to record with us. And so, Jan Burke, shut up. Stop it. He's going to say it on the thing. Okay. Anyway, okay. If anyone will jump on a podcast, show my post, I can show you metrics. And then he asked about that. And he goes, 1,000 done. Rest is going out daily, Brendan. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the only question. And then he goes, dang, 1,000 in a week means likely people are going to have to wait 2 months to get the asset. Appreciate you still making sure they do. That's my contention with that strategy. Great for you. Awful for the audience who promoted it and then wait 6 to 8 weeks to get it. If you want to show everything, please do. I was wondering why you didn't in the first place. I've never heard of a cold call to qualified meeting held at 30%. In my experience, that rate is like under 2%. So it's quite a promise. If you want to DM me the asset, we're connected. I'd love to see how that's possible. Oh, he laughed at it. Oh, Liam is in there. Liam is so funny.
Liam's always there.
Liam's always around. It will take 2 weeks max as long as they accept the connection request. Our top SDR ended last month at 87% show rate. I'm sure calling me a liar and bullshitter helped improve the LinkedIn feed. Also, not sure when you led an SDR team before, but 2% is horrible. Happy to help if you have any questions. Oh my God, we've started so much shit with this podcast. Okay. And then Brendan says, apologies. I meant cold call to closed one. 2 weeks. How when the cap is 200 connections per week? Is there a 3,881 cap? That's how many you need to connect to get it done in 2 weeks. And gotcha. So your top SDR was 87%. So that's, oh my God, this math, 25% meeting held. And that's just the best SDR. What's the total? I'd guess below 25% if that's a top metric. So likely closer to 20 overall. This is where we start getting into the mental gymnastics. If you want to debate what's good for the feed, we can chat about that 74 million per year headline you keep referencing, but appears you're just annualizing what you did in a single quarter, maybe two. No, I realize 18.5 million doesn't hit the same, but best go with accurate numbers.
Do we have them both on?
Oh my God. We wouldn't even need to be here. We just have them on and just watch.
You step back and we literally just step
back like that. Like the Simpsons.
And then we kind of like lean in. Hey,
like the Simpsons meme.
Oh yeah, with the bush.
Like, oh shit.
We could get a bunch of meme clips out of that. That'd be cool.
That would be hilarious. Okay, we'll ask them. But anyway, we're gonna end on that note. We'll circle back.
We want to be that kind of show, though.
What? A dogfight show?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk to our sponsors
dating
about
app person on. That's what we need. Is that dating
strawberry
cleaner. Whatever.
All right. Okay. We've gone way too long.
Retention rate.
Retention rate has dropped significantly. And that's a wrap on Notorious B2B, where we expose the nonsense and remind you that most B2B marketing is just a very expensive guessing game.
And post a passive-aggressive LinkedIn poll about it. We'll still find you.
And if you have B2B drama we should cover, slide into our DMs. We accept screenshots, leaked internal memos, and questionable brand rebrands.
Until next time, keep your marketing unhinged and your LinkedIn bio free of the words growth hacker. See you later.
Later, skater.